Well, greetings everyone again. Right now I'm going to give you just a quick overview about some meeting content, the agenda, and resources that are available to help you. So, what happens at the first meeting? You have a group of people, you find out maybe you have 10 or 12 people. So, how do you start? And again, these are potential items for the first meeting. It's up to you, except for a couple of things are more mandatory. Introductions, and you may, as you do in your classes, you may want to do an icebreaker or something. One of the things that we've used pretty effectively is expectations of FLC participants, and I have attached to the email a 12 qualities of an effective FLC as a guide to what you can do in the FLC in that first meeting. It really results in an interesting conversation about expectations from members, especially when you talk about people missing meetings or, what's the impact of that. Then the thing that's mandatory here is the MOU. Discuss the MOU and get the attendees to sign the MOU for participants. Also, as part of the first meeting, you may want to brainstorm research or training on topics. So, for example, you may decide that there's some particular technology tool, maybe you want to use Blackboard Collaborate, then you could contact Tilt to get training at one of your meetings or attend some of the already scheduled meetings that Tilt has. You may brainstorm about the research and how you're going to go about deciding what you're going to implement in the spring. And all of that can begin at the first meeting. The other thing to think about is assessment and how you assess whether what you're doing is effective. It's a good idea to sometimes design kind of backwards. And you'll hear that phrase used in some of the literature about education, about teaching, about learning is backwards design. So as you're talking about what topics you're talking about that you want to address, you may also want to discuss how you're going to assess how well you've addressed those topics, how well you've implemented whatever it is. And again, this isn't a final assessment, but it helps sometimes to take a step back and say, well, how will we know whether we've accomplished what we wanted to do? For future meetings, or some of it may be the first meeting, what resources will you use? In the one of the FLCs that I'm leading, I'm going to use a book on publishing a scholarly article in 12 weeks, although we're going to do it at longer than 12 weeks. But you may have a book, an article, other resources that you want to use as the focus of your FLC, and then talk about each member's project. If not at that first meeting, which might be difficult, certainly at early meetings, each member should take the opportunity to talk about their project and get feedback. May want to describe the members' courses where they might implement the project if that's applicable. And then again, talk about how to measure success or assessment. Policies that apply to FLCs, the MOU, and making sure that people understand and sign it. Talk about non-compliance, that is, what happens if someone misses a meeting, what if someone doesn't do some of the work, and then, talk about what the results should be in the summary email or something to everyone so that you have a common understanding. And then if there are any other concerns that you have, then those can be discussed either at the first meeting or pretty early on in your FLC discussions. And then finally, I want to talk a little bit about what resources are available for FLCs. The resources that are available, you may be able to get resources for a focus book or series of articles, some research and training. We have staff, not so much graduate assistants anymore, but staff that might be able to provide a little bit of assistance. Of course, you can ask the members of the FLC for assistance because they may have resources that they could use, and ask Sea Salt and Tilt. Don't be afraid to ask us. We won't know what you might need assistance with unless you contact us. The budget is relatively small. I believe maybe one FLC proposed a budget as part of their proposal, but there is a budget, and so you may want to deal with that early on. And if you have a special request, ask us and we'll see whether it can be accommodated. So we really want to do what we can to help make your FLC as effective as possible. Okay, thanks for listening.